So we were talking with a few local birders about how to get ready for the upcoming Christmas and winter bird counts along the coast. And I thought I would start maybe just by a few species and try to compile some images and talk through them to see if it's helpful. The way I learned about our three types of cormorant was a tip from another birder about this section of the coast trail near Solstice. There's this rock formation, if you see it out on the left, and right about now, all three of these cormorants can often be seen on this rock. Here's a close-up of it. The trail goes just, right along the bluff, so you can see it from several different vantage points. But I took this series of photos just the other day. If you can zoom in, this is the way I really learned to bird, by taking a camera, taking photos, and coming back and looking at them on my computer to see up close what was sometimes hard to see when they were in motion out in the field, even if I was looking through binoculars. But imagine you're looking through binoculars and take a look at these birds, and is there anything distinguishing that stands out? They often preen, so their bills are tucked, which often gives a big cue. But you can see a patch of whitish, beigeish skin on the bird on the left around its bill. And then sometimes the color or sheen can give some clues. So here's another. They've picked their heads up, a few of them, giving a few more clues. But the more you spend time looking at these cormorants, the more you'll pick up on the subtle cues. See if you can spot a little bit of orange in the bird at the very top. That is a double-crested cormorant. They're overall brown compared to the other ones, but in certain lighting they can definitely look black. But they're brownish in color and do have orange around the skin on their bill. That one on the far, well, not quite the far left, but the one with the beige patch has a slightly thicker bill, and that one is a Brandt's cormorant. And there's the other one with its head up all the way to the right. If you can compare in silhouette it to the one a few over on the left, it has a thinner bill. This is another thing that's a little bit hard to judge, especially when they're in flight, but that thinnest bill cormorant is a pelagic cormorant. So I've got much nicer photos, more glamorous photos of each of these birds that we'll look at. But just know, they almost never look this close in the field unless it's a beautifully sunny day. They're perched on a rock, particularly close to shore, and you've got a long lens, either really nice binoculars or you're looking through a scope. The one on the lower right is actually a pelagic cormorant. And then if you see those buffy patches of color on the birds, all of the ones on the left, those are Brandt cormorants. People often talk about them as having a bluish hue, where the pelagic has a more green and purple iridescence. You can see that somewhat in this photo. Sometimes it's much more distinct than this. This photo actually wasn't taken on the coast at Sea Ranch. These are three double-crested. There's a juvenile bird in here too, but I think this was Sacramento Wildlife. I usually see them more than one on rivers. Along the coast, I usually see solitary birds, but they're often inland grouped together. Here's a duo of pelagic cormorants. So these are birds that we see a lot in big numbers, and this is a good look at the red up near their bill and somewhat the green sheen. Also note giant feet, tiny little wings, but birds that we can get really close looks at. They They actually nest. I have a photo later that you can see a bird on a nest, but in quite a few places along the bluff from Black Point all the way up to Wallala Point, you can get good looks at these birds. Here's a double-crested cormorant, so brownish, with that orange around its bill. And it's this is actually at Bodega Bay, which is a wonderful place to bird and see all sorts of good things. But it's caught a fish, and look at this neck shot. My God, they're just fantastic. I couldn't believe it actually managed to swallow this thing, but it did. And then just kept right on fishing. But the coloring really stands out on these, especially if you can get a look at that orange, then it's no question what the bird is. Here's a Brandt's cormorant. So there you can see that nice big buffy patch. That really lets you know what it is. This was actually taken up at Point Arena near the lighthouse. I tend to have better luck seeing them up close there, and then the two spots around Solstice on the Sea Ranch. Here's a beautiful shot of one with those little white wispy feathers come out at breeding time, but this is also the Brandt's cormorant. Here's a closer look of something that's special that happens. They get this gorgeous turquoise, but again, this is only in breeding season. So Brandt's on the left, and then the pelagic, it's barely noticeable, but it's on the lower right. It's got its preening too. You can see a teeny bit of red in its eye, the purplish iridescence on the neck, and then green. This is also at Bodega, and this is a double-crested cormorant coming in for well, actually, I don't know if it's coming in for landing or taking off. They definitely are slow on the takeoff. You'll see them flap, and it almost looks like they're running along the water. On really calm, clear days, this is at Bodega, it's beautiful to just watch them fish. They'll just dive, usually come up pretty close to where they went down, and you get to see really nice looks at this bird. It's really low to the water, kind of the profile you come to know too at a distance that this is a cormorant. Can get tricked by loons, which I'll try to pull together some loon images too, but double-crested. Here's another double-crested perched. This is down at Wallala, the river estuary. So see the nice orange. Can't quite tell if that's a brown or a black, but that's what I mean about depending on the lighting. Here's another one in flight. They do have an interesting crick in their neck. I'll have to look for some flight shots of these and maybe add it to the video. That's another really good way to tell them apart, is when they're in flight. But you have to look fast because they do fly off. One more of the double-crested cormorant. And then here, this is out at the headlands at Bodega, and beautiful spot to watch them in their breeding plumage. So this is not this time of year, but they're on nests and they're doing their wonderful mating rituals of throwing their heads up in the air and displaying that gorgeous turquoise color. They've got their white wispy feathers. And it's just really fun to watch them all on the rocks, getting annoyed with one another, trying to attract one another. All kinds of things happen, and they do it in kind of large groups on the rocks. And I have videos of this. This is the pelagic cormorant at a nest right at Sea Ranch. You get to watch this up close, and it's very fun to watch it progress from laying an egg and incubating, and then to the chicks hatching and watching feeding. It's just a really special thing that we get to watch breeding birds the way we do. But for now, I'm going to stop here and see if this is useful, and if it is, I will keep going. But I'd love to get your feedback. Thanks.